Welcome back to the third topic of Chapter 2, that is Standards and Methods of Financing and Rural Lending. So, in this topic, we'll discuss about the institutions which are engaged in lending activities, and then what standards they follow and the methods which they require while financing rural lending. So the institutions that are engaged in lending activities are scheduled and non-scheduled commercial banks, or non-banking finance companies, then cooperative society banks, small finance banks, microfinance institutions, and the money lenders, obviously. So, firstly, we will see the methods of financing and rural lending. So, the first one is small term loan credit. Small term loan credit. This type of rural credit is taken for holding shorter capital requirement, and the loan duration could be only for 1 year. 1 year. Then medium term loan credit. These loans have a repayment duration of around 2 to 5 years. These term loans is a good option for the small firms which have been looking for traditional ways of credit having a particular anticipated amount and repayment duration. And the long term credit loan, these type of loans have a repayment duration of 5 to 20 years. Long-term finances can play a very important role in the form of businesses for creating permanent assets, which will provide return over time as they process their business. And most importantly, long-term loans in agriculture sector are required for investment for long term, which comprises of fencing, sinking well, and land leveling. All these activities need a lot of investment, and these are permanent solutions in the agriculture sector. Next, we'll talk about the agriculture credit based on purpose. What purpose the agriculture credit is based on? So, firstly, the productive loans. Productive loans. Okay. Productive loans. These loans are required to fulfill various credit requirements that directly affect the agricultural productivity. So the farmers required such loans for purchasing seeds, fertilizers, manures, agriculture implement, livestock repair and digging, etc. Then consumption needs. This is new. Why do anyone needs a credit for consumption? Yes, farmers do need a consumption a credit also, because sometimes their only source of income, that is their agriculture farm products, get waste due to the natural calamities and other unavoidable reasons. So they seek for consumption and needs credit from the institutions, formal institutions do not provide any loans for such purpose, and farmers then go to other money lenders in the local itself. Then unproductive loans. These loans are required for the unproductive purpose like litigation, marriage, social ceremony like birth and death of the family. So institutions do not lend for such purpose. So the farmers take loan from the Mahajans. Next, we'll talk about the standard of financing. So, firstly, the capital adequacy norms. So there is a requirement of for banks for maintaining a minimum pillar of one capital to risk weighted assets ratio, that is CRAR, of 9%. 9% CRAR. This is percent. So this is adequate capital adequacy norms. So the um, uh, the banks need to maintain a minimum of 9% on a CRAR on ongoing basis. So the RBI has taken into account the relevant skill risk factors and the internal capacity adequacy assessment for every bank for ensuring that capital held in bank is proportionate with overall profile of bank risk. Next, risk management including asset liability and management. So there are many risks that affect the credit decisions. Major risks are market risk, operational risk, and credit risk. So next we will talk about exposure norms. From the month of April 2002, exposure ceiling has declared by the RBI is 15%. 15%. And 15% of the capital funds, and in the case of single borrower, and if it's a group borrower, this is single, and if it's group borrower, then it is 40%. 40% of the exposure ceiling. Then risk pricing policy and credit risk rating. The impact of the exercise of credit appraisal, which is undertaken by the banks at the time when fresh credit is being sanctioned or during credit extension, should be felt in credit risk rating and a risk pricing policy of the bank. Then asset classification, income recognition, and provisioning norms. So the advances portfolio of banks are classified into 4 categories. So the categories are standard assets, substandard assets, doubtful assets, and loss assets. These are the bank advance portfolios which they follow while giving the credit. Then appraisal, credit decision making, and loan review mechanism. In credit appraisal is done by the banks before sanctioning of the loan. So credit position should be reviewed periodically with concerned borrower, and the remedial measures that are recorded and implemented without any loss of time. So with this we come to the end of the topic, and it's activity time. So in this is a practical activity in which you have to visit a branch and website of the following financial institution which are engaged in lending activities, and present the finding about the procedure of the loan. So you can form a group of 5 to 6 students and go visit a bank, and you can take the details about it and then classify into this topics, types of banks, which type of bank it is, and what are its lending activities, and what are the procedure they do follow. So this will be an interesting activity, and you will get to know about the standards of the and lending procedures of the banks very closely. So that's it. Thank you.